How you doing? I'm Big D. What I want to talk about today is the government shutdown. There's a lot of things happening. Too many deep state media. You know who they are: MSNBC, CBS, ABC, a little bit of Fox, CNN. You know the ones I'm talking about. Well, before we get into that, I gotta be me. I gotta tell you a little something that's got me a little sideways, and that's talking about illegals. Some people don't want to hear about this. Some people, like you and I, we like to be more aware of what's going on around in our surroundings. We want to be safe. Trump is using, obviously you know this, he's using the National Guard, ICE. He's using that to contain a lot of what's going on, removing of the illegals, stopping crime in majority of the Democratic states, Democratic-run states. So I want to start with something off topic. It's because with the Democrats complaining about Trump cleaning up the Democratic-run streets, Trump is using the National Guard, like I talked about. What about when the illegals were shipped to Martha's Vineyard? Remember that? That huge controversy. Democrats were crazy. They went off handle. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, our sanctuary cities, like Martha's Vineyard, were acting like they're helping out and they want to be, show their human side. We all know Democrats don't have a human side. No humanitarian in them at all. Now, Democrats had a National Guard remove them within 24 hours with absolutely no due process. None. Now they're worried about due process for illegals when they weren't before. Can you say double standard? Democrats can always get away with things like that. Well, until now. Now they call him King Donald. It's funny. It's hilarious how they believe that you and I don't remember any of this. And for me to push this out there, that's just in case a Democrat or a liberal or some crazy wants to talk about this. And please leave a comment in the comment section. And please like, share, subscribe. And if you don't like the show, go ahead and hit the thumbs down button. That is fine. But I'm trying to build the show, trying to get it back to where it used to be. I had thousands of subscribers. I had a lot of likes, hit a lot of shares. Maybe this is what you want to do as well. I do appreciate it. And if you leave a comment for me, I'm going to leave a comment for you. Expect that if you're on the other side that don't want to hear what I got to say. Because I'm going to say something. Now let's talk about today's topic, which is the government shutdown. Now, a lot of scolding going on with the Democrats like Jeffries, Schumer. Democrats seeking more taxpayer-funded subsidies for Obamacare. Well, it's more like they want us to pay for illegals' health care. $1.5 trillion the last I heard. It was put in when a controlled White House, the House and the Senate, could get it passed. Remember when they controlled this back in not long ago? But they couldn't get it done. Now this is a setup, kind of your own creation that they all couldn't extend beyond that. They only got a little bit done. Now they want the Republicans to do something they couldn't do. But I'm just blown away. Just like the Epstein files. They want Trump to release them. Trump saying they're they're all to the point where you don't know what's true and what's not because of who ran the thing, who ran the investigations. So they got to do their own investigations. That's why release something that might not be true? And then they're going to go on Trump and say, why did you release those if you didn't know if it was true or not? It's just it's a joke. Trump was on the plane. Yeah, he was on the plane, but he was never on the island. Both of Epstein's lawyers, both of them stated that they never seen or heard that Trump was ever on the island. Many of the vulnerable young ladies that have come out and come forward against Epstein and the manipulators, we won't name names right now because it wouldn't be a good idea for myself. But we all know a good idea who was on the island. But these young ladies came forward and all stated that Trump, they never seen Trump on the island. How much more you need? Just like, remember the tax return. Where's his taxes? And they finally got released and they shut right up when they found out there was nothing there. Well, let's get back to this. Now, the largest federal employee union, which has historically been a major Democratic constituency, blasted the party on Monday and urged Democratic leaders to work with the Republicans to get the government reopened. Republicans are ready to do it. They had a continued resolution to move it on, to get it reopened and then start negotiating the Obamacare, which is a joke. Now, American Federation of Government Employees President Everett Kelly demanded an end to the shutdown. Many demand an end because the American people are the ones suffering. Now, this week, Congress pushed our nation to the fourth week of a full government shutdown, a very avoidable crisis that is harming families, communities, and the very institutions that hold our country together. These are my handwritten notes. I got like a little script I do. Apologize, I'm trying to go through them right now so I don't tell you wrong information. But the Democrats, with the backfire of their antics, the government shutdown has awakened the public about how many people are on food stamps. Now the unwilling and very able Americans are on food stamps. And there were a lot of illegals that were on these food stamps as well. One aspect of the government shutdown that probably wasn't anticipated by Chuck Schumer and other Democrats is that it has revealed that the public just how many people receive food stamps. Years ago, when the program was still called food stamps instead of SNAP, it was seen as something that struggling families might use temporarily, not as a lifelong handout to get through a hard time. Then it was rebranded as the SNAP program, and people were encouraged to enroll. Now there are many more people using the program, many who probably don't even need. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the TikToks and the YouTube shorts or hearing about what many are doing. They go out and buy. They get so much money that they go out and buy all these different products and stuff that are allowed on the SNAP program. And they sell it and they get the money and they use it for whatever you want to put in there. You might start with a D and end with a UGS. Something like that. They're hooked up, more or less. Now, the longer the shutdown goes, the more report there are about this, and it's stunning taxpayers, you and I, who did not realize until now how incredibly huge this is. SNAP funding expiration sets to hit 40 million people. More than 40 million low-income food assistance beneficiaries are expected to receive less help with grocery bills or no help at all in the coming days. And I'm saying this right out. The people that really truly need this, I hope the shutdown ends today. But the Democrats, they've lost, and they will still not give up. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is threatening to withhold billions of dollars in Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP, contingency funding, which Congress has already allocated for emergency scenarios, if the government shutdown stretches into November. Now, this is between $5 billion and $6 billion currently in that fund. Experts say that that's not enough to cover the estimated $8 billion in SNAP benefits due out next month. Can you imagine that? $8 billion going out. Maybe it should be the states that pay for this, and they won't be spending the frivolous money that they do and so easily dump money whenever they feel like they should. Now, on Friday, however, the USDA released guidance saying it won't use those funds to cover SNAP benefits if the government shutdown extends beyond October 31st. Now, this is a move that appears designed to maximize the pressure on Senate Democrats to support a GOP spending bill to reopen the government. I'm telling you, it's almost like it wants to bring you to tears of how many people need this. If you are one of the people, please go see your churches, your local churches, the local pantries, whatever it takes to get some help, your friends, your family. Now, 42 million people in this country that need food stamps on a weekly basis. Do they all need it? That's where the problem lies. And I think the Trump administration is going to get to the bottom of this. And we're saying people deliberately instead of Americans because most of the people that are on food stamps aren't even from this country. And that is my opinion, fact. 45% of Afghanistan immigrants are on food stamps. 42% of Somali immigrants, 34% of every immigrant from Iraq, 23% of Haitians, 59% of all illegal aliens are collecting food stamps, meaning that most of these people are getting food stamps from the U.S. government, and U.S. taxpayers are not even Americans. Think about that. And we didn't know about any of this before the government shutdown started. I never saw it in any research possible. Now that the research is out, the deep state is going to come out and say that these are false. This isn't the Biden administration. Trump administration doesn't put out false information. Sorry about that, but sorry to burst your bubble. But please take this and if you can, help out who are needy, who are truly needy. And if you can help out your local pantries, your local churches. If you live in a nice sized town, there's going to be several churches that are going to be looking for help. Even if it's some money that you can help out with that I'm sure you donate to your church. But if you can help out a little bit more, that would be amazing. God bless. I got you guys in my heart, and I do believe we're going to get through this, especially if we can all start to help out. God bless. Have a good rest of your day.